7 key vitamins to try to strengthen weakening legs. Visualize getting out of bed each morning, only to feel legs that are tired, wobbly, and drained. Where once there was confidence in every step, now there may be a creeping worry about cramps that wake you at night, aches that linger long after a walk, or those quiet fears of stumbling or losing balance. For many, staying active and independent becomes more challenging as the spark in their legs fades. Leaving a shadow where there was once freedom, nutrition can offer some hope. Here are 7 vitamins and minerals that may slow that downhill slope, providing some support where muscle strength and endurance once came so easily. They help preserve bone health, improve circulation, and support the nerves and muscles that let us move through our days, sometimes just enough to hold on to routines that have become more difficult over time. Whether your joy is a quiet stroll, a rare dance, or simply getting up without help, these suggestions may help you cling to a bit more stability. Let's begin with vitamin D. Growing older brings changes that nobody can avoid. Muscles shrink, bones weaken, and movements that were almost automatic become a struggle. Often, hidden deficiencies, like a lack of vitamin D, whisper away our strength long before we notice what we've lost. This isn't just about bones that break more easily. Without enough vitamin D, legs can become unsteady, balance suffers, and days that once felt open and full may narrow into careful, uncertain steps. Let's take a closer look at why vitamin D stands out as a key nutrient for preserving leg strength in older adults, and how maintaining the right intake can revitalize both mobility and overall quality of life. As we grow older, our skin's ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight declines. Adding to this, many seniors spend less time outdoors, whether due to restricted movement, changing routines, or worries about sun exposure. All these factors contribute to a common deficiency that gradually saps muscle power, making legs feel weak and unstable. A solid body of research points to a direct link between low vitamin D levels and both muscle weakness and a heightened risk of falling in the elderly. For example, a study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism revealed that older adults with adequate vitamin D levels enjoy stronger muscle fibers, improved coordination, and better balance, which helps protect against injury and fractures. On the other hand, deficiency accelerates muscle deterioration, turning simple movements like getting up from a chair or climbing stairs into difficult tasks. While vitamin D is often associated with calcium absorption and bone support, its influence on muscle health is just as significant. This vitamin drives protein synthesis and sharpens neuromuscular signaling, almost like fuel for your muscles. When the body lacks it, muscle performance deteriorates. Evidence also highlights vitamin D's essential role in maintaining fast-twitch muscle fibers, which are vital for quick reflexes and stable balance. These fibers are crucial for preventing falls because they let the legs react quickly when balance is thrown off. When vitamin D levels are low, these muscle fibers weaken, resulting in delayed reflexes, less powerful muscle contractions, and an increased chance of getting hurt. Vitamin D also plays a role in reducing muscle inflammation, which can lessen the chronic pain and discomfort many older adults feel in their legs. People dealing with frequent cramps, stiffness, or unexplained leg pain may notice significant improvements simply by bringing their vitamin D levels up. Overlooking a vitamin D deficiency doesn't just cause muscle weakness. It also increases the risk of serious health challenges, particularly osteoporosis and fractures. Without enough vitamin D, the body can't absorb calcium efficiently, causing bones to become fragile and more likely to break, so even a minor fall could have major consequences for mobility and independence. Vitamin D deficiency is also connected to higher risks of heart disease, cognitive issues, and a weaker immune system. Seniors who don't get enough vitamin D often face not just weak legs, but a greater chance of developing long-term health problems that can severely impact their quality of life. What's the answer then? The upside is that maintaining healthy vitamin D levels is straightforward and can have a truly transformative impact. Here are some top ways to enhance your vitamin D and support steady, strong legs. Sunlight. Getting 15 to 30 minutes of direct sunlight each day, ideally during the morning or late afternoon, naturally raises vitamin D. Exposing both your arms and legs helps with absorption, but sunscreen can reduce how much vitamin D your skin produces. Diet. Whole foods alone might not supply all the vitamin D you need, but adding foods like salmon, mackerel, sardines, beans, fortified milk products, egg yolks, and mushrooms does help overall intake. Supplements for older adults. especially those not often outdoors. A vitamin D supplement can become necessary. Most guidelines suggest 800 to 1000 IU per day to keep muscles and bones in good shape, though people with serious deficiencies may need higher doses under a doctor's care. If you're not sure about your vitamin D status, a quick blood test will settle the question. Many physicians routinely screen older adults for low vitamin D because of its major connection to falls and broken bones. Calcium in seniors. The gradual but ongoing decline of bone mass increases the risk of fractures, since bones no longer renew themselves as fast as they once did. Every step in old age can become a calculated gamble, as frail legs threaten to betray their owners. Hip fractures, femur breaks, and stress fractures lurk like silent predators, waiting to strike after even the gentlest stumble. What once would have been a shrugged-off bump in youth now leaves bones shattered, trapping unlucky victims in months of slow agony or stripping away their freedom to walk forever. The danger runs deeper. Calcium, the lifeblood of bone, also haunts the muscles. With every twitch and movement, calcium ions flicker in and out of muscle fibers, summoning just enough energy to keep bodies upright. A deficit saps strength, drawing out cramps, and a dreadful heaviness that makes movement feel foreign and unsafe. Legs wriggle, trembling under the body's own weight, and a simple cramp can turn into an ordeal lasting for hours in the cold dead of night. There are ways to fight off this creeping fragility. Milk, cheese, yogurt, the usual suspects stand guard, but they have their limits. Greens like kale and bok choy, slippery tofu, oily sardines, and fortified plant milks help stave off the inevitability, if only for a time. Nix them, try to stay one step ahead, but even the most careful diet can fall short when malabsorption or strict limitations close in. That's when supplements become a final defense, especially when paired with vitamin D, which draws the mineral deeper into bones before time runs out. For some, there is no escaping the reality that the body, without enough calcium, turns traitor. Bringing enough calcium into your diet offers your bones hope for stability and maintenance. Still, relying solely on food isn't always enough, particularly for those with strict food limitations or underlying absorption problems. Calcium supplements try to fill in these gaps, especially when coupled with vitamin D, since vitamin D creates a chance for more calcium to be absorbed. But sadly, more isn't always what's needed. Too much calcium, particularly from supplements, can accumulate where it shouldn't, settling in arteries, forming kidney stones, and causing stomach discomfort. Finding some kind of middle ground feels necessary, but not always easy. The target amount for older adults sits at 1,000 to 1,200 mg daily, ideally from a blend of real foods and, if it must be, supplements. But it doesn't stop at intake. Movement is another piece, and without it, all the careful calcium consumption feels almost for nothing. Walking, light jogging, or just simple resistance routines urge bones to take in the calcium, quietly supporting the hope for mobility and strength. If movement is neglected or calcium intake slips, the body becomes weaker, and so does any freedom to stroll or enjoy the things you love. The slow loss of independence, once taken for granted, can be felt in small, significant ways as movement gets harder. Strong bones and working muscles are what stand between a full, vibrant life and a slower, more restricted existence. Both depend on calcium. Then, as the focus tends to drift away from just calcium and protein toward leg strength, there's the overlooked but vital role of vitamin B12. It quietly shapes how your brain and muscles talk to each other, a fundamental thread in the web of movement that's so easily frays when neglected. It plays a key role in maintaining nerve health, making sure that electrical signals from your spinal cord reach your legs effectively and accurately. When there's not enough of it, your muscles miss those crucial messages, causing weakness, unsteadiness, and gradual loss of movement control. Not surprisingly, a heavy, fatigued feeling in the legs, sometimes with numbness or tingling, is a frequent sign of B12 deficiency. The catch is, vitamin B12 deficiency shows up quite often in older people. Unlike some vitamins that are stored in fat or found in many foods, B12 needs a properly functioning digestive system for absorption. Your body relies on enough stomach acid and a molecule called intrinsic factor to pull B12 from food. Aging naturally reduces stomach acid, and issues such as gastritis, acid reflux, and chronic use of antacids can make things worse. Combine this with diets that are short on B12-rich foods, and the result is a gradual decline in this vital nutrient. The impact of low B12 isn't limited to feeling weak. Left unchecked, It can lead to permanent nerve damage, disturbing balance, coordination, and reflexes. Many older adults who struggle with repeated falls, walking difficulties, or the sensation that their legs just won't cooperate may actually be experiencing the neurological fallout from B12 deficiency. Often, the decline happens so slowly that people mistake it for just getting older, even though it's actually something that can be entirely avoided. The promising part is that bringing vitamin B12 back to healthy levels can dramatically boost mobility and energy. Research indicates that seniors who address a B12 deficiency often notice clearer gains in their strength, stamina, and leg health. So, where do you find this vital nutrient? Unlike other vitamins that can come from plants, vitamin B12 is mostly present in animal-derived foods. Top sources are lean meats, fish, eggs, dairy, and especially shellfish. Clams and liver stand out as the richest options for those committed to plant-based diets or who have trouble absorbing B12 from food. Fortified foods like certain cereals and plant-based milks or dedicated supplements are indispensable. B12 is considered one of the safest vitamins to supplement, since excess is flushed out through urine. Many older adults see benefits from taking higher dose supplements or getting periodic B12 shots, particularly if absorption is an issue. Routine blood testing is a practical way to track levels and reduce the risk of the gradual mobility loss that's common with deficiency. Here's the stark reality: strong legs aren't just a matter of muscle. They're a test of whether your body's inner wiring is running smoothly or quietly betraying you. Without sharp neural connections, even the most powerful muscles can falter, unresponsive at the worst possible moment. Lurking beneath your day-to-day movements is a silent dependence on proper B12 levels. A deficiency can slowly strip away your mobility, unraveling your independence bit by bit. Then comes magnesium, the uncredited orchestrator of every step. Lurking in the shadows, its absence doesn't announce itself with subtle hints, but with leg cramps ripping you from sleep, with restless legs that twitch and claw under the covers. Each nightly jolt and creeping ache is your body's warning something is off balance. What begins as mild discomfort can fester into deep exhaustion, chipping away at your will to move. Even your bones and joints, seemingly steadfast, rely on magnesium for strength, while calcium gets all the glory. Without magnesium, your skeletal foundation is eroding silently from within. Neglect this hidden mineral at your own risk. This mineral quietly works to manage calcium transport, striving to ensure it finds its place within bones rather than settling in soft tissues, where it might bring stiffness and aching joints. Research has revealed that higher magnesium intake is linked to stronger bones and fewer fractures among aging adults, a small hope for preserving mobility. Yet, magnesium deficiency remains sadly common, easily drained away by stress, medications, and poor dietary choices. Many older individuals rely on medications, diuretics, proton pump inhibitors, certain blood pressure drugs that inadvertently lower magnesium levels. Combined with diets lacking in magnesium-rich foods, this often leads to a widespread deficiency, slowly eroding strength, endurance, and flexibility. This silent decline means many seniors end up walking shorter distances, ascending stairs with greater effort, and feeling drained after the simplest tasks. It's not just the passing of time, it's a relentless absence of the nutrients their bodies need to keep moving. Still, restoring magnesium levels can bring a subtle relief to aching legs, ease cramps, boost energy, and revive the faint whisper of freedom and movement. Natural sources like leafy greens, nuts, seeds, whole grains, and legumes, especially pumpkin seeds, almonds, spinach, black beans, and avocados, offer some hope for maintaining muscle and bone health. Yet for those who find it hard to get enough through diet alone, magnesium supplements may provide a necessary lifeline. Dark, leafy greens, seeds, nuts, whole grains, and legumes, innocuous foods on the surface like almonds, spinach, black beans, pumpkin seeds, and avocados, harbor an abundance of magnesium, quietly offering a way to nourish muscle and bone. Yet, for those who can't consume enough, supplements lurk as an alternative, with magnesium citrate and glycinate slipping more easily into the body's defenses. The shift that takes place when magnesium is replenished borders on the uncanny. Older bodies, weighed down and drained, may suddenly find their legs pulsing with a new, unnatural energy. Phantom aches and relentless cramping, once a nightly torment, may vanish, but the sense of relief is tinged by the memory of how close the body came to failing. Even balance, so easily lost to age, may creep back in, as magnesium exerts its influence over the hidden electrical networks threading muscle and nerve. 5. Potassium. Picture this: dawn's pale light creeps in, and as you rise from your bed, a sudden, stabbing cramp seizes your calf, freezing you in place. Many recognize this pain, a haunting symptom of depleted potassium. Potassium, unseen yet vital, governs the delicate equilibrium of fluids within and between muscles. When levels drop too far, muscles rebel, locking up in involuntary agony, sometimes twisting legs into knots. For the elderly, weakened by time and poor circulation, these nocturnal attacks are more than a nuisance. They can chain a person, draining strength and will. But cramps are barely the beginning. Perhaps you felt your legs tremble, wavering as if the ground itself were unsteady, or sensed your limbs stiffen, reluctant to move. Potassium's absence gnaws quietly, turning simple acts, standing, walking, into silent trials. Standing, walking, into silent trials. Potassium serves as the invisible conductor of the nervous system, orchestrating the dark ballet between nerves and muscles. When potassium slips below its necessary threshold, that silent network begins to falter and break. Suddenly, the familiar pathways between your mind and your legs become foggy and unpredictable. You might notice trembling, a sickly weakness crawling up from your calves, or your own feet dragging behind you, as if weighed down by something unseen, ushering in an ever-present threat of a sudden, shattering fall. For the elderly, this risk becomes almost sinister. The ground waits hungrily for a single misstep. But potassium's influence runs even deeper, seeping into your very bones. It shields them from corrosive acids that quietly erode their strength with every passing day. Without enough potassium, your bones become brittle, more likely to crack and crumble. A diet rich in potassium, on the other hand, casts a protective ward, slowing the inexorable loss of bone and keeping your legs from becoming hollow relics. Potassium, then, is not just a humble mineral. It's a lifeline holding your muscles and bones back from the brink of decay. The question is, how do you keep this power on your side? The world offers up a banquet of potassium-rich foods, but don't be fooled into thinking bananas are your only defense. Sweet potatoes, avocados, spinach, beans, oranges, and even a baked potato with its rugged skin offer more potent protection. A diet woven with these foods offers steady reinforcement, perhaps just enough to keep your body from falling into frailty. And if these foods evade you, supplements might whisper to you from your medicine cabinet, promising a shortcut, but not without their own shadows. How much potassium do you actually need? For adults, the recommended daily intake is 2,600 mg for women and 300-400 mg for men. Most people can meet these requirements by eating a balanced diet filled with fruits, vegetables, and legumes. Still, those dealing with health issues such as kidney disease or high blood pressure should pay special attention to their potassium consumption and consult a healthcare provider to determine what's best for them. Now, on to vitamin K, often overshadowed by calcium, and vitamin D when it comes to bone health. While calcium and vitamin D are well known for supporting strong bones, vitamin K is just as vital. Without it, calcium can end up in the wrong places, like arteries and soft tissues, leading to stiffness, circulation problems, and increased risk of heart disease. Vitamin K helps direct calcium to your bones, where it should be, making sure your bones stay strong and your mobility is protected, especially as you get older. In fact, research shows that people with higher vitamin K intake tend to have denser bones, a lower risk of fractures, and generally better bone health compared to those with insufficient levels. Vitamin K helps activate osteocalcin, a protein that attaches calcium to bone tissue, thereby increasing bone density and reducing the risk of fractures. But vitamin K does more than just support bones. It's also vital for joints and muscle performance. People often forget that healthy legs depend not only on sturdy bones, but also on limber joints and muscles that work efficiently. Research indicates that vitamin K can ease joint inflammation, which may help slow down osteoarthritis and reduce knee stiffness, a frequent issue for older individuals. If you notice your knees hurt with movement or feel stiff after sitting a while, you could be lacking vitamin K, which may help relieve discomfort and support mobility. Weak muscles in the legs often cause balance problems, walking difficulties, and more falls. New studies hint that vitamin K helps maintain muscle strength and coordination as we age by controlling calcium levels in muscle cells, allowing for proper muscle contractions and steadier movement. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, Swiss chard, collard greens, and Brussels sprouts offer high amounts of vitamin K, the main plant-based form. On the other hand, vitamin K2, which may be even more effective in certain ways, is found in fermented foods such as natto, aged cheeses, and animal products like egg yolks and liver. K2 stands out for its ability to remain active in the body for a longer period, and its vital function in directing calcium into bones rather than arteries. To naturally ramp up your vitamin K levels, focus on eating more green vegetables and fermented foods. Simple changes, like tossing some kale into a daily smoothie or adding sautéed spinach as a side dish, can make a noticeable difference for people who find it challenging to absorb vitamin K from food, such as those with digestive issues or those on prolonged antibiotic therapy. Supplements might be considered, but should be approached with care. Anyone taking blood thinners like warfarin needs to check with a healthcare provider before increasing their vitamin K intake, since vitamin K influences blood clotting and can interfere with these medications. Turning to vitamin B6, it has a greater impact on leg strength and muscle function than most people might expect. While several nutrients help support mobility, B6 stands out for its role in preserving nerve health, aiding muscle repair, and making sure the body makes efficient use of protein to grow and maintain muscle mass. Without enough B6, even strong muscles may weaken over time, and activities like rising from a chair can become more difficult. Without it, even well-developed muscles can gradually lose strength, making everyday actions like getting up from a chair or climbing stairs feel surprisingly tiring. One commonly overlooked role of vitamin B6 is its impact on nerve communication and motor coordination. Low levels of B6 can slow down or disrupt nerve signals, causing numbness, tingling, or instability when walking. Many older individuals attribute these problems to normal muscle aging, when in many cases, the real issue is a lack of specific nutrients essential for healthy nerve and muscle interaction. Vitamin B6 also helps combat muscle fatigue related to inflammation, as it supports the body's inflammatory regulation, easing discomfort and helping keep the legs more limber and durable. If you've noticed ongoing stiffness or find it takes longer to recover after being active, adding more B6 to your diet could make a noticeable difference. Beyond supporting muscles, vitamin B6 is critical for the creation of red blood cells, which deliver oxygen throughout the body and fuel muscle endurance. When B6 is lacking, hemoglobin levels may drop, so muscles aren't supplied with enough oxygen, leading to early weakness, heaviness, and lower stamina. If you find yourself unusually drained after brief activity, your body might be signaling that it needs a higher intake of B6. Fortunately, this vital nutrient is widely available in a range of tasty and easy-to-find foods. Chicken, fish like salmon and tuna, bananas, potatoes, chickpeas, and fortified cereals all provide excellent sources of vitamin B6. Including these foods in your regular meals can help maintain healthy B6 levels, which benefit both your nerves and muscles. For anyone struggling with digestive concerns, poor nutrient absorption, or specific dietary limitations, taking B6 supplements may be needed to reach their suggested amounts. The ideal daily intake of vitamin B6 depends on age and gender. Generally, women over 50 need about 150 mg per day, while men need roughly 1.7 mg. Getting B6 from food is usually harmless, but taking too much from large-dose supplements poses the risk of nerve issues over time. Ultimately, the healthiest approach is to eat a variety of B6-rich foods for steady and safe nourishment. If you found this video useful, please give it a like, as it helps us make more helpful content. Leave a comment with your questions, feedback, or suggestions for future topics. Your input is always welcome. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always updated